thepascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
What's up? Okay, guys, things have been getting a little bit crazy out here in these streets revolving around this Karmelo Anthony Austin Metcalf case. And I got to tell you guys, I get it that there are people out here that are very passionate about this case, and they are either super team Karmelo or they're super team Austin Metcalf. I get it. All right. There's no argument about that. The whole thing, this case has really split up the room. But honestly, there have been some really wild things that have been happening revolving around this case since the dawn and since the announcement of this tragedy. There have been documents that have been forged. There have been accounts that have been made that were not real. There's been a lot of rumors that have been out here in these streets, and it's been absolutely insane. Now, one of the things is of course, you obviously are seeing the title of this video, so you already know what the conversation is about. But at the same time, I want to get straight to the conversation where it all starts, okay? Where it kind of spawned from. And this is not spawning from it, I'm sorry. This is a reaction to this rumor being said that Karmelo Anthony was not actually using a knife. He was actually using a cleat sharpener? What? Now, again, before I go into my commentary and talk even more about this, let's just hear, this is Charleston White. He has some things to say about this. We're not playing this whole thing. There are some very, very flowery words in here. Let me just say that too. But let's just hear what you got to say about this, because this is a very interesting conversation that people are having out here in these streets. All right. Oh, and also they're saying that the Metcalf boys were trying to rob Karmelo as well. But that's, like I said, people are moving the goalpost a lot, and it's starting to make things very, very murky. Let's just get into this.
This was not a racial killing. So why are the adults coming in playing a race game? The worst thing y'all could do is play the race game in this redneck county, nigga. That black judge, they already working to get her out of there. She will not be a judge in Collin County anymore. And if you from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you know them people don't play out there, nigga. They from out of town. These are outsiders. They will make an example out of that black kid, and black people will get him hung playing the race card. How dumb can you be? This is the time we supposed to say, let's come together. Why can't we all get along? This is that time so we can have his life spurred. They go hang that boy.
He ain't wrong with that. I mean, this is the time that we should be coming together as a people, right? And we shouldn't be looking at this based just on the color of our skin. And that's something I've been saying since day one. But unfortunately, the people out here in these streets want to make it about race. That's what it is. Even the family, okay, even the Metcalf family is like, please, or at least the father has been like, please, let's not make this about race. And yet, what happens? It didn't change. It has turned into about race, and it's not going to stop, right? It's done. They set it on, and they walked away, right? They said it and they forget it, and that's the unfortunate side of the thing. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's all depending on if this is self-defense or not. We're going to talk about that in a second.
He deserved to go to prison. If you take a life, you ain't supposed to be able to walk away with no consequences. It's consequences to your actions, right or wrong. Even if you justified to take a life, your life wasn't in danger.
Now, that's the question. Like I said, the main question right now is whether or not this was self-defense. That should be the thing that we should be talking about and debating about in these streets, not talking about or spreading more rumors about, say, him being robbed. There's not been any information about him being robbed at all. You see what I'm saying? There's just a lot that is being put out here that's just absolutely insane. And people are trying to make up lies for either side of the case to make that particular side look more innocent or look more like the villain. It's getting crazy. And the thing is that to what degree, this is the argument and the question that's going to be asked in court, and is going to be asked of the jury to decide, what is considered deadly force? What is considered deadly force to the point where you need to protect yourself? Is it just aggressive words? Is it a touch on the chest? Or is it a shove or a punch? Those are the questions that are going to be presented, because you know for a fact Karmelo Anthony's team is going to say this is self-defense. He was fearful for his life. And the question is, what made him so fearful for his life? Was it just Austin making fun of him, giving him a little, verbal, giving him hell verbally? Or did he actually put his hands on him in a very aggressive way to the point where he was scared? Those are things that are going to be asked and need to be made. Need to be made as a conversation and a decision that needs to be made while they are in that courtroom. That's not for us to decide, but we can have a discussion about it for sure. That's what we need to be having, not the fact that this kid is black and this other kid is white, and that's it. That's not right. That's not fair. Okay, the racial bias needs to be pushed to the side, and we need to look at this case for what it is. Is this self-defense or not?
Karmelo was wrong, dead wrong. In the witness accounts of what he said, he grabbed the book bag. Let me tell black people how dumb y'all is. Don't you know they got a police report with the evidence of a knife and not a cleat sharpener? There's no such thing as a cleat sharpener.
Okay, now, I'm going to stop it right there, because obviously there's he says he talks for like a whole 3 other minutes. But one thing is for sure, a cleave sharpener. I even looked it up myself to see what the hell a cleave sharpener was. And honestly, the things that I saw online, I'm just looking at Google. All right, love. We're just looking at Googles, and let's be real. Like what is this stuff, right? I mean, that is it's a very interesting thing, but from what I've seen so far, not so doesn't look like something that you can plunge into, poke into the chest of somebody, right? It doesn't look like so much of a deadly weapon as far as the things that I've seen here. Okay. As far as what they say is a cleat sharpener. Okay. But again, this is some very interesting stuff. I found this on TikTok, and I wanted to share this with y'all as well, because this is a cleat sharpener. And again, we also have it. He said this. They also reported finding the weapon, and they called it a knife. I have that document here. I'm going to share that with you guys real quick, but let's take a look at this here.
Sharpener exists. I'm either stupid or being gaslit. Everyone said to Google it, so of course I did. First page of Google, I see absolutely nothing of relevance. I go to images. These top 2 things could be something. They could be something. Let's look more into them. We have a knife sharpening tool, which, why would he have that? And then we have a gardening tool. Then ironically enough, if you go to videos, a video I made 2 hours ago pops up. That's how bad the SEO on this tool is. And if it
look at that. See that? Like, if that is a cleat sharpener, how can they use this? Like, I could see him hitting him with it, but stabbing somebody with that? Bruh.
If it was for soccer's the most popular sport literally ever, there would be more information. But when people describe it, it's like a giant nail file for sharpening cleats or spikes. So is it something like this? And again, the more important question is, who is reporting that it was a cleat sharpener?
No doubt.
Where did this information come from? Did it come from the police? Did it come from a witness? Did it come from Karmelo Anthony's camp? What is the origin of the claim that it was a cleat sharpener?
That's what I'd like to know too. Okay, what is the origin story of this cleat sharpener? Because it don't make no damn sense. Again, they even have it in the arrest report. It is reported in here, guys. They say that they found the knife. Okay, right here. All right, they began to set up a crime scene with tape, moving non-essential personnel out of the immediate area. The officers on scene were informed that the knife that was used was tossed and was still believed to be somewhere close. Eventually, one of the witnesses said they remember seeing it on the bleachers still. Officer Shawls, one of the officers that was there, was able to locate the knife. It was located between rows 9 and 10 near seat 30, closest to the aisle, partially open. So it was one of those foldable, retractable blades. Okay, the rain began to come down heavily, so it was determined that instead of moving the knife, they would cover the knife up with a large blue tarp. Why would they write in the reports knife, 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 if it was a cleat sharpener that he used to take the life of Austin Metcalf? Like I said, it just doesn't make any earthly sense. But again, people are out here saying all kinds of stuff. Yeah, see, what I had heard is the Metcalf boys were attacking or robbing Karmelo Anthony, and that's why he used, deadly force. Then now there's this new rumor that's floating around where I don't even know where it came from, but this new rumor that's floating around saying that he didn't even use a knife, that he actually used a cleat sharpener. I've never heard this before in my life. Okay. And yeah, I've never heard of a cleat sharpener. I mean, I feel like I've seen something like that, but it looks exactly like what that guy, that TikTok video showed. It's flat. Okay. And it's used to sharpen cleats. It's not another sharp object to sharpen something else. You see what I'm saying? So again, it makes no sense about this whole no knife, like he didn't use a knife situation, when we see in the police reports them saying that they found a black, basically retractable blade on the bleachers that he actually used to take out Austin Metcalf. But see, here's the problem, guys. We're living in this world where everybody and their mama has opportunities to get a certain narrative or get rumors out there in these streets very, very easily just by going onto their respective social medias and putting out misinformation and fake news. That's what's so frustrating about this, because at the end of the day, instead of us actually looking at the situation and letting it be what it is and letting the courts decide what the fate is for this for Karmelo Anthony, we are busy looking at information and talking about information that has no merit, that has no backing. And like I said, if it could take somebody 2 seconds to look up whether or not he had a knife or not. Just like I said, it took me 5 seconds to pull this police report up. That's it. For us to go, oh, okay, it was a knife. They would not say a knife. They would say a cleat sharpener or something that looks like a sharpener or you know what I mean? They would have used something else other than using the word knife. But again, because we have people out here that are willing to change the narrative as much as they can so that it fits theirs, we get misinformation out here that runs amok and muddies up the case. It's sad, guys, but this is not right. He had a knife. He used that knife. And now Austin Metcalf is no longer here. But at the end of the day, the real argument is this. It's not about black and white, which we've talked about ad nauseum here, okay? It's not about black and white. It's about whether or not this kid was really defending himself in self-defense or if he just straight up attacked this kid unwarranted. Those are the two options here. This was either self-defense or this was straight up murder. That's it. That's a question that still needs to be answered. And I'm telling you right now, once we get some more information, once we get evidence, some footage, video footage, this will be a completely different story. But I'm wondering why we haven't heard anything much about the footage. Why hasn't any of it leaked? I'm surprised none of it has leaked yet, because I feel like with such demand and such interest in this case, how much this has grown, I figured that this would be something that we'd all be seeing by now. Because once we see the footage, I feel like there's going to be a little bit more explanation on either side. But like I said, don't believe the hype, ignore the BS. Him not having a knife, he had a knife. He used that knife. That's the thing that we know for sure. Okay. But as far as everything else goes, we don't know the full scope of everything. We don't know if the two boys were attacking him or he was attacking them. We don't know, guys. Let's let the evidence show here soon, and then we can make decisions after that. But what say you guys? Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. It's pretty wild. The knife story, a cleat sharpener, that's a new one for me. That's a new one. But comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hit that like button down below. Crush that subscribe button, and we'll talk here soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.